Hey guys, it is Mark Coe for the 25th of March, almost the end of the first quarter. It's amazing how quickly it goes by. I had a question from somebody recently that said they didn't really understand exactly, what all was available when I walked through some of the videos. So I wanted to kind of just walk through, and I'm just going to walk through today with some of the short-term trades that were available, but explain them and just show the profit because we've had so many subscribers show up lately. Really, I think trying to take advantage of this. And I was just looking at the markets today going, there was just almost no way in the world you couldn't have made money today just simply following the approach, the strategy. If you're not making a couple thousand a week, and I say that, I think it's a better way to say a couple hundred ticks, because everything I speak about when I speak about P&L, you have to understand I'm talking based on either one contract in the futures market or a standard position lot in FX, which would equate to 100,000. So probably a better way to say that is a couple hundred ticks, right? But again, I've done a lot of focus on how to build a six-figure income. It's still averaging a couple thousand a week that you need to think about over the course of the year. I understand that doesn't come every day. It's not always as neat and pretty as that, but most days there are some really good opportunities, and so it's just a matter of finding those. Crude oil. All right, so let's think about what were the opportunities in crude oil, and I'm just going to reference everything that I give. So the question somebody asked me in saying that they were not fully understanding, this is what I give. Crude oil, a support base, a resistance area, right? That's what we're working around, and then I talk about how do we want to position that in terms of bias direction, what levels, and things like that. So first off, sell opportunities into your sell zone. Now remember, our sell zone is this 59.15 area, and you see the top of it marked up here in the white box. So these are all taps. This is at 9 o'clock. This is at 9:30. These are all taps in the direction of the sell bias into our sell zone. All right, so now we tap to 59.01. Now we tap to 58.98. All of it rotates down to 58.17. Now, somebody also asked me, they said, it seems like you're saying you're taking every tick. What I'm talking about is what the move is, right? If the move is 59.01 to 58.17, that's an $840 move, right? But what are you able to take out of it? Now, we're working this 58.45 zone in terms of our support. So this is what I'm looking at in terms of capturing profit-taking opportunity. So I don't look at that as an $840 move. Yes, it's an $840 move, but I don't look at it as though I'm grabbing the 840. I look at it as it's a $500 payout to me. But again, taking the top side of that market, there's also a lot of movement back to the top side. I did have somebody in the room today that got stopped out on this move higher. Again, a move that does not close lower. So you have to understand there are opportunities, but there are also issues that are very real to the short-term trader. Now, we came into crude with a sell-side focus, so again, this is not necessarily bothersome, but also it was well developed into the cycle. This whole sell cycle started at 60.25 2 days ago. You're now looking at it at 59. So one of the conversations we had is, did you take money out of this where this is still profit to you, or is this your first trade within it? Looking at a $500 rotation and a 25 or 30 point stop, you're still positive on the day. Not taking any trade here, not taking any trade on a Monday, and then taking the third or fourth or fifth opportunity, it looks a little different. It's still sell bias into this 59.15 area until we get a close above it, bottom line. But again, $500+ rotation, equal amount the way back up. Certainly a little bit of churn, and this would have all been dependent on what you use as stops if you dealt it, or if you waited on counts. The count system is another thing that I talk about, and this never had sell count, so it did not possess the sell bias on the short term. Nonetheless, profitable day in crude in terms of opportunity. It was very challenging to not be profitable. Now let's look at the big winner, and which has maintained its I think stature as the big producer of late. It's the Emini. So what was the thought process in Eminis? Now this is written at 8 o'clock in the morning East Coast time. Support 27.90. Resistance 28.20. Long bias to enter the session. That means we are buyers on dips. I give you this information every single day. If you can find a way to not make $500 in a week and pay for your service, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. But let's talk about it. 27.90. We see it highlighted right here. This is your 8 o'clock open, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30. Where does price dip to? 90 and a quarter. 90 and a quarter. So you're given the zone, right? You're given the price. You're giving the direction, which says I'm buying at bottom edge dips. Here's your bottom edge. It's highlighted for you. That rallies 25 points. That's $1,250 a contract, right? And it doesn't mean you take every tick out of it. It means that's the zone you're looking at. But it's at a minimum, it's a $1,000 move. Again, same thing. You have rotational move, the same $1,000 move back, and then we're currently in the midst of the next opportunity. So this is the second opportunity of the day to deal at 90, right? And I only focused on the long position. I did not focus on the short position here, but some did. Some in the room took this sell trade, and I'm fine with it. You're just dealing at an edge. But 1,000 and currently sitting about $600, $1,600 on a Monday, right? For a $500 annual subscription. That's a pretty good trade. And again, this is not something we're doing once every 3 months. You're seeing this on a daily and weekly basis. That is Emini. So several hundred available in crude market, 1,600 so far, and we're 40 minutes in front of the 4 o'clock close. Sitting there with 1,600 available in the E-minis. Let's take a look at some currencies. Dollar yen. Dollar yen was long bias against a 109.80 level. And again, this is your 8 o'clock a.m. So this is where the briefing occurs that we get the 109.80 level. There's your move down into 109.80. It trades 75 right into the zone. Rotates up. We're now looking at 30 points higher, so not massive, but again, just under $300 per position. So $300 for dollar yen, $1,600 in the E-minis, $500 in crude oil. That's a pretty nice day. That's a pretty nice day. And euro dollar really, in my mind, had no real trade setups today. Pound dollar had two potentials, longer term being that we prefer to buy dips, and shorter term being that this is pretty good resistance up here. And I'll show you where the resistance came from in the pound. Again, it came from last week, so it came from this breakdown on March 20th, retest of the same area, broke lower. We just tapped back into it this morning at US Open. So that was all on sell count. That was 32.50. 32.50 trades back to your 31.70 area. Again, about $800 of profit there. Back to the long side, and it's sitting not an overly big move, but about $300 to $400 off of this level. So you see what was available. So in currencies and in the futures markets, there's potential there, and I hope you guys are grabbing it. And if you haven't taken the opportunity to visit the room, I hope you do. I think it's great value for a 12-month subscription. I mean, barely over $40 a month. Anyway, you guys have a good day. I hope you're seeing some profits. Have a great week, and we'll wrap up the third quarter at the end of the week and go from there. Cheers, guys.